Namaste viewers. Today we will move on to session 9. We are going to discuss the problems in exercise 3.3. So far in linear equation, what all we have studied, let us have a quick recap. First we found out what is a linear equation, and I gave you a lot of situations. You tried to get the linear equation for all the situations, and we also tried the exercise sums. So in which some situations are given, you arrived at linear equations, and then graphical solving we saw. We discussed several problems and I told you how to draw the graphs. We classify the lines, we classify the equations, and also we classify the solutions. Okay, so when we classify the solutions, so far we saw only graphical solution in which we have to draw the graphs of the equations, which always turned out to be straight lines, and then the point where those two lines intersect we took as the solutions for the given equations, isn't it? So continuing with that, today we are going to discuss the algebraic solution. There are three methods here that has been discussed for that has been included for you. Now the first method is the substitution method. That is what we are going to see today. Okay, the word substitution suggests that some substitution is going to happen. What we are going to substitute, for what place we have to substitute, and in which equation you are going to substitute, and how we are going to substitute and get the answer. That's what we are going to see in this session. Is that clear to you? Now you please go through the spelling and learn the spelling correctly. Substitution. Okay. Now, do you remember we discussed two equations graphically yesterday? Okay, for your reference, I have written down these equations. X minus y plus 1 is equal to 0. 3x plus 2y minus 12 equal to 0. We found the graphs of these two straight lines. Okay, and then we got the solutions, isn't it? So do you remember that? We will take the same equations for learning what is a substitution method, and after that we are going to apply to solve the exercise sum. That is the first sum, first subdivision. You are going to do that. Is that clear to you? Now, in the first equation, you just notice x minus y plus 1 is equal to 0. Now, this method is always like this. From any one of these two equations, we have to get the value of one variable in terms of the other variable. It can be even x or y. That is your wish. Okay. Now, after getting the value of one variable in terms of other variable from any one of the equations, that variable's value we substitute in the second equation. So by doing so, can anyone tell me what will happen? Can anyone tell me? By doing so, the equations in two variable will become as equation in one variable. So one variable solving, you know very well. Okay, that is your earlier lesson. How to solve an equation in one variable. We have that is the fundamental. So we are going to the fundamental to solve the equation. Okay, are you ready? Shall we proceed? Now, from this first equation, I can get either the value of x or the value of y. Okay. Now, I am going to take x value as y minus 1. How? X equal to x alone, I am keeping it in the LHS, and then RHS I am transposing y term and also the constant term. So we have got x equal to y minus 1. Is that clear to you? Now this y value is going to be substituted in the second equation. Okay, so this value is going to be substituted in the second equation. Okay, now always this algebraic solving requires some kind of markings for the equations, which is very necessary. We can substitute get the value of x from equation 1, and that value we have to substitute in equation 2. Please remember the steps very clearly and correctly. So get the value of any one variable of your choice from first equation, and that variable's value you have to substitute in the second equation. Okay. Now if you substitute the x value in the second equation, what do we get? We get x as 3y minus 1 plus 2y minus 12 equals 0. Correct? Are you understanding? So you expand this, 3y minus 3 plus 2y minus 12 equals 0. So you will get 5y minus 15 is equal to 0. So 5y is equal to 15, y is equal to 3. Are you understanding? So by proceeding with these steps, finally we got the value of y as 3. Now what are we to do? Y value we have to substitute in any one of the equations. Either here or even this. That is, 3 choices are there. Wherever you substitute, you will get the same value. So, but generally this y value is always substituted in the original substitution in which we got x as y minus 1. That is, generally we follow that. You can even substitute in the first equation. You can substitute in the second equation or in the original thing. That is your wish. Suppose if I substitute here, then x is, I will name this as 3. Okay, so I am substituting. You have to write this step, this very essential. Substituting in 3, you get x is equal to 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. Are you understanding? X is equal to 2 minus 3. 2 and 3, sorry. So the equations after final step, we are going to get x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3 is the solution. So this is how you have to end up the sum. Is it clear? Once again I will repeat the procedure. So the substitution method requires substitution of one variable in terms of the other variable, which is obtained from any one of these equations, and that on substitution of this value in this second equation or the other equation, we have to proceed further to get the value of that one variable. After getting the value of this one variable, then it has to be again resubstituted in the original value of x what we got as this, and then we are going to get the value of x. This is the method. Is that clear to you? Now, using these steps, why I have repeated the same equation what we did yesterday by graphical solving. When we attempted to plot the graph, do you remember we got the, you please turn to the pages and see our working of yesterday, last session. The common point or the point of intersection we got as 2 and 3 where the lines met, isn't it? So that is the solution. Now in the algebraic solving also we have got the same values for x and y. That's what you have to check. Please check in your notebook whether you have got the same values. Okay, now we will apply this method for the first subdivision, okay, in exercise 3.3. Please write down the two equations. X plus y is equal to 14, x minus y is equal to 4. You give them the numbers as 1 and 2, okay. Don't mistake that it is a negative sign. This is not a negative sign, it's simply a hyphen. We have to denote the equations first as 1 and 2. Is that clear to all of you? So what did I do? One variable in terms of the other variable, okay. From equation 1, we can write x is equal to 14 minus y. Is that clear to all of you? From equation 1, I have got x is equal to 14 minus y. Is that clear? Now we have to substitute, like name this as equation 3. Is that clear? So we have to substitute this value of x in second equation. So if you substitute, you will get 14 minus y is equal to 4. Therefore 14 minus 2y is equal to 4. Therefore 14 minus 2y. So minus 2y is equal to 4 minus of 14. So that gives you minus 10. So minus 2y is equal to minus 10. Y is equal to minus 2 by minus 2, giving the value 5. Are you understanding? Now after this 5, we have to substitute in equation 3. So I have to introduce the term. Here I have introduced substituting in. That's very essential. So substituting in 2. So here we are substituting in 3. So we are writing substituting. In 3 we get x is equal to 14 minus 5, giving you the value 9. So we have got x is equal to 9, y is equal to 5 is the solution for this equations. Now how to find out whether it is correct or not? The first equation gives x plus y is equal to 14. So 9 plus 5 is 14, and then x minus y gives you 4. So 9 minus 5 gives you 4. That is, it is satisfying both the equations. So therefore that is the solution for this equations. Now let us go to the second subdivision. You please take down the sums in your notebooks. S minus t is equal to 3. S by 3 plus t by 2 is equal to 6 given. Now here the coefficients of the second equations, they are not integers. It is given to be fractions. So first you have to balance the terms. So after balancing we should proceed. Is that clear to you? So we will name it as equation 1 and let it be equation 2. So equation 2 can be rewritten as 6 is the common denominator. So you take as the LCM. Now it is 2 times S plus 3 times T. LCM simplification you must know for fractions. 3 times from here. So 3t is equal to 6. Now doing the cross multiplication, we get 2s plus 3t is equal to 36. Is that clear to you? Let us give the numbering for all the 3 equations, 1, 2 and 3. Is that clear to you? Now first equation is, we can get the value of s in terms of t. So from 1 we get s is equal to 3 plus t. Is that clear? T goes to the other side. Now this value of s is going to be substituted in here. In this equation we are going to substitute. Okay. So you have to write substituting in 3. Substituting in 3 we get 2 into 3 plus t plus 3t is equal to 36. So this is the calculation. So 2 3s are 6 plus 2t plus 3t is equal to 36. Therefore we get 5t, the 6 goes to the other side, 2 plus 3, 5t I have got. I get 36 minus 6, it is equal to 30. So I get 5t is equal to 30, which implies t is equal to 6. Are you understanding? T is equal to 6. Now the t value is going to be substituted where in the fourth equation I am going to substitute. S is equal to 3 plus t. Now S is equal to t plus 3. Therefore S is equal to 6 plus 3 gives you 9. So we have got S is equal to 9 and t is equal to 6 is the solution of this equation. We can write here S is equal to 9 and t is equal to 6 is the solution. We have to highlight the answers like this and then finish the sum. Let us move on to the third subdivision in the first question. 3x minus y equals 3. 9x minus 3y is equal to 9. Okay. Now, I want you to multiply the first equation by 3. Okay. So, because we have to somehow I have to get the coefficients in the same manner, and moreover, after having a close look at the equations, something strikes me. Same thing has to strike you also. Isn't it? So that otherwise you will only end up in wasting the time. Just look at the equations. On close observation, you can find out first equation by 3 gives the second equation. Correct? Shall we try? So first equation you multiply by 3, you will get 9x minus 3y equal to 9, which is the second equation itself. Yes or no? Because of that, what will happen? Your a1 by a2 will be equal to b1 by b2 will be equal to c1 by c2. Therefore, the equations are consistent and they have infinite solutions. If they are infinite, solutions are infinite. So whatever value you get for x, you will get a value of y. That means you don't have to specifically find the unique value. It won't exist. It is all the same. Correct? There is no unique value, but they get infinite solutions. So for this sum, we cannot do any substitution or any method will not give you a unique solution. Therefore, we have to end up the sum as it is, saying the result. Is that clear to you? Just in order to find out whether you are able to link what you have studied the previous session and this session, I have given this sum to you. Okay, now 9x minus 3y equal to 9, and coming to the same argument, you will get a1 by a2 is equal to 3 by 9 is equal to minus 1 by minus 3 is equal to minus 3 by minus 9. What will happen? This is 1 by 3, this is 1 by 3, this is 1 by 3. Therefore, 1 by 3 equal to 1 by 3 equal to 1 by 3. Therefore, there are infinite solutions. That means the equations are consistent and infinite. So, you don't have to find by any method to get there is no unique solution possible. It is all infinite. Many solutions are there. So we will not do any substitution or any other method here. We'll just end up the sums like this, sum like this. So how will you conclude the result? As the equations, you have to write like that. As the equations represent what? They represent two coincident lines. The solutions are infinite. You have to conclude like this, and we won't proceed further. This is how you have to end up this sum. Is that clear to all of you? Yes, please make a note of these things. We move on to the fourth subdivision in the same exercise of question number 1. 0.2x plus 0.3y is equal to 1.3 and 0.4x plus 0.5y is equal to 2.3. So, these are all decimal numbers. So, in order to eliminate the decimal values, we have to balance the equations. Okay. So here, even though it is, we can still proceed with the decimal itself, but in order to simplify our work, first we are taking it as fractions of 10. Okay. So let us name this equation as 1 and it will be 2. So the first equation becomes 2 by 10x plus 3 by 10y is equal to 13 by 10. Now, here the common denominator is 10 because there are like fractions. So, 2x plus 3y, and on the right hand side you get 13 by 10. 10 for the LHS and for the RHS in the denominator, they neutralize, they get cancelled. So, we get final value as 2x plus 3y is equal to 13, and that we can name as equation 3. Is that understood? Just because we have got 10 as the common denominator for both LHS and RHS, we are able to cancel it and rewrite the equation as 2x plus 3y is equal to 30. That is equation number 3. Now, applying the same principle, the second equation becomes what? 4x plus 5y is equal to 23. Let us name it as equation 4. Is that understood? Clear? Now, how? Again, you just work in the mind. This is 4 by 10, 5 by 10, 23 by 10. So, 10 the like fractions, isn't it? So, 10 the common denominator means it becomes simple. 4x plus 5y. And in the RHS, it will become 23 and 1 by 10 for both numerator LHS and RHS will become, they get cancelled. Is that clear to all of you? So, 4x plus 5y is equal to 23 is your fourth equation. Correct? So, what is the method? We have to substitute one variable in terms of the other variable in the second equation or the first equation. Meaning, if you find the value of y from the fourth equation, that value you have to substitute in the third equation. If you are finding x from the fourth, there are 4 choices available to you. Even in the third equation, you can find x in terms of y. Or in the same equation, you can find y in terms of x. Either way, it is the same. Clear? Or if you don't want to do in this equation, if you feel that I get some simple numbers, I will go to the fourth equation. Yes, well and good, you can proceed. You can find y in terms of x and also x in terms of y. So always you are having the 4 options you have. So you can choose any one of the option. Like this time, shall we take the value y? Shall we substitute y in terms of x? That's also possible. Okay, we will take it. So 3y we get as 13 minus 2x. Correct? We'll name it as equation 1. Therefore, y is equal to 13 minus 2x divided by 3 we have got. Here. Now, here I have to think. So, I have to substitute this value here in the fourth equation. If I substitute, I will get 5 into 13 minus 2x by 3. This 5 and 3 will not get cancelled. So, again I have to take the common denominator and the procedure is little longer. Isn't it? Again, I have to do the cross multiplication to balance the equation. So, just to avoid that unnecessary calculations, what I am deciding, I am deciding because this 4 and 2 are easily cancelable. So, I am choosing this option. 2x is equal to 13 minus 3y. So, that I am going to take as the fifth equation. Therefore, x is equal to 13 minus 3y by 2, and this value I have to substitute for x in the fourth equation, but 4 and 2 can be cancelled easily. Therefore, you will not have fraction or denominator at all. So, that is easier, isn't it? You won't make mistakes. So, let us take that option only. Is that clear to you? You have got 4 different choices. That is your wish. Okay. Now, if you take this, what substituting in equation? Let me write it. Substituting in equation 4, I have got 4 into 13 minus 3y by 2 plus 5y is equal to 23. Are you understanding? Is that clear to you? Now I can cancel. This becomes 2. 2 13s are 26. 2 3s are minus 6y. And then plus 5y. You are getting the answer to be 23. Now we have to work again. This becomes what? 26 minus y is equal to 23. So, minus y is equal to 23 minus 26, giving you the answer 3. Therefore, y is equal to 3 is the answer for y. Is that clear to you? Okay, shall we proceed further? Now if I proceed further, what will happen? X is equal to 13 minus 3y by 2. So I am substituting the value y here. So 13 minus 3 3s are 9. 13 minus 9 gives you 4. 4 by 2 gives you the answer 2. Therefore, x is equal to 13 minus 3 into 3 by 2. You will get 13 minus 9 by 2, which is 4 by 2. So the x value is equal to 2. So what is the solution? The solution is, you have to write the final answer like this. Solution is x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3, and you have to highlight your answer and end the sum. Is that clear to all of you? I want you to do these two sums as homework. They are the 5th and 6th sums, 6th subdivisions in the same exercise, question number 1. Okay. Please take down the sums. Root 2x plus root 3y is equal to 0. Root 3x minus root 8y is equal to 0. And this is the first sum that you have to try. And the second sum is 3x by 2 minus 5y by 3. 3x by 2 minus 5y by 3 is equal to minus 2. X by 3 plus y by 2 is equal to 13 by 6. Now I will give some clues also. So this is obviously there is no constant. So definitely they have one common solution which is very obvious. What is it? Yeah, I think some of you have got it. So let us break the suspense in the next session. Okay. Now we have to balance the coefficients and do it for the second sum. We have to take the LCM as 6 so that you multiply, balance, and here also the 6 will turn out to be the LCM. We have to do it, balance the equations and do it. And in the next session, we'll discuss your answers before beginning. Thank you.